So, good morning, all. We are meeting after a long break. I was not here. So, let's quickly revise what we have done and then we can go ahead with the new content. So, we have started with a new unit, which is ER model, which is nothing but graphical representation or diagramical representation of any database, and we have taken some examples, right? When you are constructing something, you cannot directly start constructing, right? Rather than it, you can have a diagram or a map or a sketch or a plan on a paper, then you can start the construction. So we have taken so many examples of buildings or any tables, furniture, whatever it is. First the diagram needs to be present and then the actual product, right? So this is, then we have seen three things: entity, anything which is different than the other thing is entity, like a human, projector, fan, dais, table, chair, mobile, all these are entity. And what is entity set? Set of the similar entity. A fan and a projector cannot be in the same entity set because that are different. Then we have taken example. There is an entity set called instructor. There is second entity set called student, and instructor and students, how they are related with each other, right? So relationship is nothing but association between two entity set like this. Then one more thing, descriptive attribute. If your relationship set is also have attribute, generally entity set and entity is having attribute. But when the relationship is having attribute, you can call it as a descriptive attribute. For example, date. On which date the instructor become instructor of the student. For example, the Craig became instructor of Tanaka on 3rd of May. So it is attribute of the relationship. So this is descriptive attribute. It can be binary or multiple relationship can be possible. Attribute is nothing but, relationship is nothing but table, and attribute is nothing but column. What are the attributes of a person? Person ID, name, age, height, weight, address, mobile number, all these are attributes. Like projector, what are the attributes? Company, serial number, dimension, sharpness, voltage, all these are attributes, right? So all these are attributes. Now types of attributes we have already done. One is simple versus composite. If you cannot divide the attribute into the sub attribute, it's simple, like enrollment number. You cannot further divide enrollment number, so it's a simple attribute. Second one is composite. That means you can further subdivide it into the sub attributes. For example, name. The name can be divided into the first name, middle name, and last name. Right. So these are the attributes. Like address. The address can be subdivided into the street, city, apartment number, for example. Right. So all these are composite attributes. A single versus multi-value. Single value means it cannot be having more than one value possible. For example, your enrollment number. Any student with two enrollment number? No. A name can be multi-value. A person can have two names. One is nickname and one is real name, for example. Mobile number. A person can have two mobiles. Email ID. All these can be multi-valued attribute. But passport number at a time, person can have only one passport number. Single value, multi-value. Getting me? With me? Stop me whenever you are not getting, right? Derived attribute. The derived attribute is the attribute where you need to calculate from some existing attribute. You need to calculate, for example, age. If I give you my date of birth, can you calculate my age? Yes. If I give my joining date at Marwar University, can you calculate my length of service over here? So all these attributes are derived attribute, and one thing you must remember that derived attributes cannot be stored. It will not be stored in the database because you are calculating it. You are calculating it, so no need to store. When you are storing date of birth, should you store age also? If you store in the database date of birth, you should store age? No, because you can easily calculate by the query, right? And one more is null. Null means value does not exist or not known or not applicable, whatever it is. For example, if I ask you mobile number, sir, I don't remember. So it is not zero, it is not dash, it is not nil. In the language of database, it is N-U-L-L, null. So either you forget it, either does not exist or not applicable. Not applicable to, for example, if I ask you Aadhaar card, now Aadhaar card is applicable to Indians only. Right, it is applicable to Indian only. So you don't have just, it is not applicable to you. So not applicable means null. Right? Key, I will skip, we will learn later on. Constraint, we have started with. Constraint means rules. Now when you are designing the database, if you want to apply some rule, how can you apply? So you need to apply in terms of constraints. Constraints means rules. So there are three constraints. Key, we'll skip here. Two main constraints. One is mapping cardinalities and second one is participation constraint. Mapping cardinality we have already done with, and participation constraint. So I will repeat mapping cardinality. Now what is mapping cardinality? Record of one entity set is related with how many record of second entity set. Record of one table, entity set is table, is related with record of how many tables. That is mapping cardinality. Now let's take some example first. Let's see. First one is 1 to 1. In entity A is associated with at most one entity in B. That is, there are two entity sets. One is A, one is B. A is there in 4 entity, B is there in 3 entity. Now, in entity set A, a record or entity is associated with at most one. At most one, that means it can be 0 also, but maximum 1. And entity B is associated with at most one entity in A. 1 to 1. Both the side. A to B 1, B to A 1. Example, for example, A is instructor set and B is student set. A is instructor, like teachers. In foreign, means out of India, in most of the country, the teacher or professor, they call instructors. So A is, for example, professor, forget professor, mentor. A is list of mentor, B is list of student. Professor can be mentor of any one student. A professor can only be mentor of one student. And a student can be mentored by only one professor. In my table, I want to put the constant. That means if you enter the data, if you assign 2 mentors to a student or 2 students to a mentor, your database will give you the error. Not allowed, because you are keeping the rule. What's my point? Getting it or not? Relax. Put your bag on the desk and relax. Yeah, you can also put your bag. No one is going to take it. Getting my point? So rule means you need to apply the rules in the database. Second example, consider a bank. Consider a bank. A bank wants a rule. A person can open only one account. And an account can belong to only one person. That means joint accounts not allowed. These are the persons, these are the accounts. A is in one account B, A2 is in one account B2, A3 is in one account, A4, not having any account. It is just a customer record. Got the point? So if your customer will tell you, I want this applied, so this is one-to-one mapping cardinality. Okay? One to many. Now you understood what is one to many? One to many, but direction is also important. Direction is from A to B. From A to B. But if you consider B to A, then it is many to one. So from A to B, one to many. So A entity in A is associated with any number of entities in B, but an entity is B, however, can be associated with at most entity in A. Example? One person can be having multiple bank accounts, but no joint account allows. That means our account cannot be belong to multiple persons. See, A1 is having two bank accounts, B1 and B2. A2 is having two bank accounts, B3 and B4. But B1 is only belongs to A1. Same, a mentor can teach to multiple students. But a student cannot be mentored by multiple teachers. Ready? If you want to put switch constraint, then it is one to many mapping cardinality. Viewers, a person cannot be having multiple accounts, but joint accounts are allowed. Many to one, but from A to B, but from B to A, one to many. So B1 account belongs to two customers, A1 and A2. In our professor example, a professor can mentor only one student, but a student can be having multiple mentors. Right? Many to many. Student can be mentored by multiple professor, and a professor can have multiple students. Right? Same. A person can have multiple bank account in the bank, but a bank cannot be having, a bank also can have joint accounts. Everyone should be clear on this. Everyone. Any doubt? Any query? Let me ask our online. Otherwise, there is sorry doing partiality. Online students, any doubts, any queries? Clear. Clear to one student. What about rest? At least tell me 2, 3, 4 students so I can know. Okay. No one wants to say anything. Someone told. Clear. Okay. Yes. What possible? Multiple students. Multiple students. Then it is not many to one. then it is many to one. Now that was mapping cardinality. Now second type of constraint is participation constraint. First I will do the definition and then I will give you the example. First one is total participation and second one is partial participation. Let's understand, this is little bit tricky. Total participation. The participation of an entity set E in the relationship R is said to be total if every entity in E participate at least one relationship in R. Student entity to be related to at least one instructor through the advisor relationship set. Now what it wants to set? What it is telling that the participation is total if each entity in the entity set is associated with at least one relationship set. At least one relationship set. For example, A1 is associated with B1, A2 is associated with B2, A3 is associated with B3, but A4, it is not associated. That means this is not total participation. This is not total participation. Why? Because A4 is not associated with any entity in the B. An entity of A is not associated with any entity in B. So what it is called? Partial participation. What it is called? Partial. Because it is not associated with anything. Now what about this? Is total or partial? Total, because it can be associated with more than one, but at least one. So don't be confused between mapping cardinality and participation constraint. Now let's say partial. If only some entity in the E participate in relationship R, the participation of entity E is said to be partial. No confusion? Right? So this is partial or total? This is partial or total? Partial participation from which direction? B to A. But what about A to B? It's total participation because entity set A is participating, all the entity. But what about B? B4 is not participating. So from A to B is total. But from B to A is partial. What about this? Total or partial? B to A is partial. What about this? It's total for both the side. A to B is total, B to A is also total. A to B is partial, B to A is, wow, excellent. So these are the participation constraint. Three types of constraint. One is mapping cardinality. Second one is participation constraint. Key, why I am skipping, because after one or two lab, you will understand what is key. And there is one chapter called database design. In that, we will understand the key in the details. That's why I am skipping the key. Now, any doubt to online students? Anyone in participation constraint? Students who are online, any doubt to the participation constraint? Okay, silence is better than words. Now we are actually coming to ER diagram. Up till now, what we have done, the background of how to draw ER diagram. Now, actually, how to draw ER diagram. So, to draw any diagram, first you need to understand the symbols. Like in flow chart, you have understood the many symbols, right? In the flow chart, like rectangle, diamond, parallelogram, lines, all these, ellipse. Same here, you need to understand the symbols first, right? So no need to write because it's everything is available in the book. I have uploaded already in the Google Classroom, so you can download it from the Google Classroom. How to represent entity set? Let me draw this, show this, so you can. So entity set is represented by rectangle. If you want to represent entity set, it is rectangle. Few you will not understand now, but once we will progress, you will understand. For example, weak entity set. Right now you don't have any idea what is weak entity set, but double parallel, so double rectangle, it's weak entity set. How to represent relationship set? Diamond. How to represent primary key? So this one, underline. Now what is primary key? That will come later on. Now how to represent many to many? If a relationship is many to many without arrow. So first we'll see one to one. You see one to one. So if one is there, arrow. This is also arrow. So here A, this is B, this is one to one. So without arrow, many to many. With arrow both the side, one to one. Then what about one to many? One to many, arrow on the right hand side. So this is one, without arrow one, with arrow many, or reverse. Without arrow many, see no arrow, this many. With arrow, which is one. So one to many means one, that means arrow, and many means this, blank. Attribute A, rectangle. Multi-valued, we already seen what is multi-valued, when you are having more than one value possible, which is multi-valued. Derived. Now participation, if there are two arrows, then that is total participation. If there are two arrows, then total participation. If one arrow, then partial participation. Two means total, one is partial. This, see, many to one. So many, no arrow, one arrow. Got it? So don't worry if you don't remember now, but when we proceed, when we'll see many ER diagrams, you will understand. Rest of these we'll see, because many topics are pending. Generalization, specialization, we'll see all these symbols. Right now you need to remember entity set, relationship set, many to many, many to one, attributes. There are many, one to one, one to many, one to one, many to many. This is a simple, very simple part of ER diagram. This is not a total ER diagram, but this is a part of ER diagram. You study this first. I'm giving 1 minute, study this. So if you observe, rectangle means entity set. So there is an entity set called customer. And this ellipse means attribute. Attributes are having customer ID. What are the attributes of customer? Customer ID, customer name, customer street, customer city. There is second entity set, loan. With the attributes, loan number and amount. Now, how both are related with each other? Because customer, if I have taken loan, I am a borrower, I have borrowed money from the bank, so the relationship is borrower. So customer entity set and loan entity set are related by borrower relationship set. Got the point? Now, let me explain you what is this underlying customer ID. How a bank can differentiate between two customers with some ID. How you are different than the others. Which is the attribute which is different? GR number or enrollment. Two person can have same name. Two person can have same height, same weight, everything. But a person cannot have same passport number or customer number, right? So that is primary key. That is primary key. The attribute which is unique to every entity set or entity, it is, just a minute. Got my point? Right? So in loan number, a person can have loan, but loan number should be unique to every person. Now this, any difference? Just see and observe. What is the difference? What is the type of relationship here? One to many. From customer to loan, the relationship is one to many. From loan to customer, many to one. Now, what does it mean in real life? One to many, that means a customer can have multiple loan. Some customer have car loan, some customer have home loan, personal loan. But what is reverse? A loan cannot be belongs to more than one customer or multiple customer. That is one to many. So if you want to represent the constraint in the diagram, this is the right method. Got it? Now, it's many to one. Many to one. That means a customer can have only one loan, but a loan can be belongs to multiple customers. That means joint loans are allowed. Now, many to many. Many to many. Now study this. how many entity sets here? Only one, which is that customer. Now attributes. First is customer ID. What is underlined? Its primary key. What is name? What type of attribute name is? Composite, because it is subdivided in first name, middle name and last name. Then address, which type of address, which type of attribute address is? Composite, because it is subdivided in street, city, state. Which type of attribute city is? City. Simple, right? Simple attribute. Which type of attribute street is? Street is again composite, because it is subdivided into street number, street name and apartment number. Which type of attribute phone number is? What is double ellipse? Weak is entity. An attribute cannot be weak. You are right in term. If it is entity, then it is weak. But attributes cannot be weak. What is phone number? Double ellipse. It's a multi-valued. That means you can store multiple phone number for the customer. Date of birth, simple. Age, derived. It is represented by dashed ellipse. Dashed ellipse means derived, and that how we are going to store in the database age? We should not store it, right? Because we are having date of birth, we can easily calculate the any difference. How this diagram is different than the earlier that we have seen. Access date. There. Okay. So these are two different. Other than means loan and borrower, means borrower and customer. Now customer and account. If I am an account, I am a depositor. Again, customer ID, customer name, state and city, and account number and balance. And one more thing here new, which is this. It is also attribute. So what we will call this attribute? If relationship is having this, see, generally entity set is having attribute now, but this is depositor is relationship set. Relationship is set is having attribute. So what we will call? No description. What we will call if the relationship is having attribute? Descriptive attribute. If a relationship set with entity instructor student associated with this. If any attribute is associated with relationship set, then it is descriptive attribute. What is difference? Exactly. What is two lines? It is total participation. Single line means partial participation. What does it mean, total participation? Real word meaning. All the loans is all the loans should have at least one customer. Is it possible there is a loan without customer? There is a loan of $1 million. To whom you have given? That I don't know. Is it possible? So total participation is every loan should belongs to at least one customer. But this is partial. What does it mean? It is possible that the customer may not be having loan. He may have completed it, but bank is just maintaining the database of customer. Right? So it is not necessary that every customer should have loan, but it is compulsory that each loan should have at least one customer. Without customer loan, otherwise bank will be now what is new? So now three entity sets are related with each other: employee, branch, and job. Employee works on this branch and his job title. So it is what I mean to say, it is not possible there should be relationship between only two entity set. But it may be possible that the relationship may belongs to more than one entity set also. Two entity set also. So this type of relationship is called ternary relationship set. 2 is binary, 3 is ternary. Right? Now if you take the few books, if you take the latest version of the book, ER diagrams given in this, like attributes are written like this in some books. So don't get confused. You can use these also, you can use these also, like this. So ID is the primary key, name, salary, instructor is the entity sheet name and relationship name. Date is the descriptive attribute. So see ID name. Now name is the composite attributes because name is further divided in first name, middle name, last name. Address is also composite attributes because street is divided this. Multi-value attributes are in curly brackets. And derived attributes are like this. Just the representation does change, meaning will as it is. So either you can use whatever you found good, you can use. Either you can use this, but I am comfortable with this, so I am using this. Now weak entity set and extended we'll do later on. Now I want to make one announcement. When I have taken first lecture, I have told you that for 20 marks of your CSE component, we will have an Oracle certification. Your IDs are ready. Tomorrow is I am having batch lab of one batch, and then Monday I am having batch of the other batch. I will give the total demonstration, how to do this, how to create the login, and how to study. But it will be totally self-study mode. You need to study at your own because it's beautiful material provided by Oracle. Everything is given. If you clear the certificate, you will get 20 out of 20. If you clear that certificate, 20 out of 20, but if you cannot clear, then I will be giving you assignment. You need to write, finger painting, and it will not be 20 out of 20. It will not be 20 out of 20. So I encourage you, I motivate you to clear the certification, because then you will be having your, I think, first or second Oracle certification in your hand. Got it? So in the lab session, I will give you the demonstration of how to create this certification. Okay? Thanks all. That's it for today. Just a minute. Let me close
Hello,
this.
sir. Hello, sir.